Imagine you just bought your dream home, you moved in, you went through all the challenges of finding the home, going through the whole process of competing against other buyers, and finally getting your offer accepted, going through the whole emotional process of getting your loan approved, the inspections, all the things. And now you've closed on the home, you moved in, only to realize you can't afford it. 43% of new homeowners are struggling just like this. Clever Real Estate just performed a survey, and it has some pretty disappointing findings. 43% of recent home buyers cannot afford their homes. What? In this video, we're going to talk about this survey and break it down. We're going to talk about what's contributing to this problem of why they can't afford their homes. And I'm going to share some tips with you to help you avoid making this big mistake. And I also want to talk to those of you who may find yourself in this situation right now with making your mortgage payments. I'm going to share with you some options of what you can do. Let's get into the survey. So again, the survey says 43% of new homeowners are struggling to make their mortgage payments on time. This company, Clever Real Estate, puts out a report called the American Homebuyer Report. They surveyed about 1,000 people who recently bought a home in 2023 and 2024. So we're almost halfway through 2024. The biggest thing in this survey, it says 82% of the recent home buyers have one regret, and that regret being that they spent too much money on their home. 24% feel that their interest rate was too high. And the most common regret was buying a home that needs too much maintenance. 35% of recent buyers said that the seller was not upfront about how much maintenance the property was going to require. I'm going to go back to this one. I'm going to touch on this one in a little bit. So let's put a pin in this one because that's an important one I want to talk about. The survey also says that 38% of these recent home buyers between 23 and 24, they admit that they overpaid for their home. 47% of people feel that they are in over their heads financially since making their home purchase. And 44% have taken on extra debt in order to maintain their lifestyle. And 3 out of 5 recent home buyers say that their finances have not improved since buying the home. Now, let's talk a little bit about what's going on here. The first thing I want to address is the salaries. Okay, people's salaries are not catching up with these home prices.
You're absolutely right.
It's pretty insane. I want to share with you some more statistics of Clever Real Estate's analysis regarding salaries compared to home prices. And it's pretty unbelievable, guys. Wait till you hear this. So Clever's analysis shows that with 10% down, first-time buyers must earn $119,768 to comfortably afford the median home price of $332,494. That is about $45,000 more than what the typical household earns in this country, which is $74,755. What? Yeah. Did you know that since the 1960s that home prices have risen 2.4 times faster than inflation? According to Clever Real Estate's analysis, if home prices had merely kept pace with inflation, okay, stay with me here, the median home would cost only $177,500 today, as compared to the actual price of $431,000, right? Let me say that again. If it kept pace with inflation, home prices only cost $177,500. compared to $431,000. Now, even though in the last 10 years, inflation has increased by 31%, home prices have doubled that by 63%. Yes. Another interesting fact here for you that when boomers were in their 30s during the 1980s, mid-1980s, the median home was 3.5 times more expensive than the median household income. The median household income back then was $23,620. And the median home price was just $83,200. You fast forward to 2022, and we talk about our millennial friends. So most millennials were in their 30s in 2022. The median home price was 6.3 times more expensive than their household income. So in 2022, the median household income, that was $74,580, and the median home price was $468,000. What the heck? I also wanted to throw in here a Zillow survey that was done. The Zillow survey showed that people need to earn 80% more to comfortably afford a home in today's market. 80% more. So we look at the gap between the salaries and the home prices, that's huge and it's mind-blowing. And I don't think it's going to get any better, unfortunately. Now, what are some of the factors that are really contributing to people not being able to afford their homes right now? Here's part of the problem. When people get a mortgage, they think that I'm going to pay the principal and interest on that loan, and that's never going to change. But what people forget is that your homeowners insurance and your property taxes are tied into that mortgage payment as well. Those two numbers are going to be increasing. Yes, every year your mortgage payment is going to go up because there's going to be an increase in your insurance and in your property taxes. Let's dive into this a little bit. According to the S&P Global Market, homeowners insurance by the end of 2023 had risen by 11.3% nationwide. Now, some states had skyrocketed a lot. The three states that had the highest rate change was Texas. They had an increase of 23%. Arizona was 21.8%. Utah, their insurance went up 20.3%. With the rise in all these storms and natural disasters and the cost of replacing these damaged homes, this is why the insurance is going up. And let's throw in there some lawsuits too, because I'm hearing about that too. A lot of people are sue happy, and now the insurance companies are jacking up the rates because of that as well. So this is a big problem right now, and this has been going on for the last couple of years with these rising insurance rates. So let's talk about the property taxes. Okay, this is a big problem that's happening right now. Property taxes since 2019 across the country, they've risen 25%. Yes. I get asked this question a lot from my buyers when they're purchasing a home, like, oh my God, are the property taxes going to go up as soon as I buy the home? No, they're not going to go up as soon as you buy them, but they will eventually, because what's going to happen is the local tax assessors are going to come and assess whenever that assessment cycle is. Okay. Let me step back a minute and explain. So local tax assessors will periodically reassess the property, and that assessment cycle, that could be as short as a year. It could be as long as 10 years. What I recommend is you check with that tax assessor before you buy the home to get an idea of when the next assessment cycle is going to be, so you can prepare for that. Fortunately, there are some states that actually have a tax cap, meaning they cannot go above a certain percentage. So in California, that tax cap is 2%. So they cannot increase your taxes by more than 2%. States like Texas, they have a 10% cap. So areas in Texas that have gone through an assessment cycle since the pandemic, their taxes have gone up really high. So these are just two factors that I feel are contributing to why people are struggling to make their mortgage payments, because those mortgage payments have increased. So what does one do to avoid having to fall into this situation, to avoid struggling to make that mortgage payment? If you're a new buyer, you're entering the market right now, here is my advice for you. Now, I want to go back to that first statement when I talked about the survey where it said 35% of home buyers felt that the sellers did not tell them how much it was going to cost or what was required to maintain the property. Okay, you're not going to like my answer for this one. What? It's not the seller's responsibility to go into detail about what it costs to maintain that home and what the utilities cost. It's your responsibility to do your due diligence. Now, you can ask the seller to see their utility bills and to ask them, hey, does it cost a lot of money to have the lawn cut? What's the water bill to water this lawn every summer? And if there's a pool, what does it cost to maintain the pool? You can ask those questions. Do not expect the seller to be upfront with that. That is not their responsibility. It is your responsibility to do a total cost assessment of the home. And even if you don't like the answers that the seller is giving you, go to utility companies yourself. Go to them yourself to find out exactly what that homeowner is paying for their electric and water and all the things. Another thing I'm going to recommend is that before you even go out and look for a home, make sure you have an emergency fund saved. 3 to 6 months of your income should be saved, sitting in a bank account, ready to go in case there's any emergency repairs that need to be done on the home, because I can almost guarantee you within your first year, something's going to break, whether it be your water heater, your air conditioner, what have you. You could get a leak in the roof. So not only you're saving for your down payment, your closing costs, 3 to 6 months of income put away for your emergency fund. If you are unfortunately in this position right now, you're struggling to make your mortgage payments, here are some things that you can do. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a real estate agent. I'm just sharing with you some information. Please talk to your bank or your lender, whoever you have your mortgage with, about these options I'm going to share with you right now. Do not take my word for this. Talk to your bank. The first thing you can do is forbearance. Now, forbearance is putting a pause on paying your mortgage, and you can do that for a couple of months. And this is for people who have a temporary hardship, a temporary loss of income. Now, the thing with this is once that forbearance is lifted, you do have to repay that, whether you repay those missed payments in a lump payment or the bank can put those payments on the back end of your loan. There's also a loan modification, and this is for people with a permanent loss of income. So say, if you're on disability and what have you, you can do a loan modification to get those payments lowered or what have you. If you've missed some payments, call your bank to set up a repayment plan. You can do that. Don't throw your hands up and say, I stopped paying my mortgage, I'm done. No, call your bank to work out a plan to repay those missed payments. I'm here to help you guys, just give you information and to help you avoid any regrets that you will have after buying a home. If you want to know why 90% of home buyers regretted buying their home in the last couple of years, you got to watch this video right here. It's really good information. I highly recommend you watch it. Thank you so much for watching me today to get your dose of real estate reality. My name is Jackie Baker, and I will see you next time.